Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the worst blizzards to hit in America because as you can see the anniversary for the 2016 blizzard is coming up very soon, January 22nd. The 5-year anniversary was last year in January 22nd, 2021. This will be 6 years that this is happening, and this was a very historic blizzard that hit DC, Philadelphia, New York area. Because take a look, I want to take a look at this map. You to take a look at this map right here. This is how much snow fell. Like, this is where the snow was the strongest right here. In fact, there was areas that had over 30 inches for over 1 million people, including parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia. Parts of Loudoun County got over 30 inches of snow, so that's very powerful right there. And let's take a look at this right here. The location of where the biggest amount of snow fell, Somerset, Pennsylvania, 35.8 inches of snow. Allentown, 31.9, including a record of 30.2 inches for a calendar day. That's a one-day record right there, ladies and gentlemen. The JFK Kennedy Airport, International Airport got 30.6 inches of snow, with also 30.3 inches of snow as a one-day record. Harrisburg, 30.2, also 26.4 for a single-day record. The Dulles International Airport in Virginia is 29.3. Reagan International had 17.8, which is lower than other parts of DC, but that's still quite a lot of snow. So, with that being said, I want to take you to the worst blizzards to hit in the United States history. So, I'm actually going down to the bottom of the list, and we're going to work our way up to the worst blizzards right here for you guys. So, let's go ahead and get started. This is Snowmageddon right here. 2 blizzards in February of 2010 broke snowfall records in the Mid-Atlantic region, such as a whopping 32.4 inches of snow at the Washington Dulles International Airport. After the second snowstorm in February, 68.1 inches of country was blanketed in snow. That's more than 2/3 of the country right there blanketed in snow. Look at this. You can see the satellite imagery. DC, Philadelphia, New York City, most of Virginia, all of West Virginia, the majority of Pennsylvania, all of Maryland, all of Delaware, most of New Jersey is covered in snow. And that's just one part of the country right there. So the term Snowmageddon has been around since 2009, and it stuck when President Obama used it in the DNC's winter meeting during the storm. So that's interesting right there. You learn something every day. You know what I mean? Now the next one is the Super Bowl blizzard. The Super Bowl blizzard takes trophy for being the most unusual. A record low pressure of 961 millibars. It sparked tornadoes in the southeast before heading into the upper Midwest, where heavy snows and cold killed more than 100,000 farm animals. So that's not good right there. Unlike many winter storms which sweep in from Canada, the Super Bowl blizzard started in the Pacific, crossed the Rocky Mountains, and headed over the plains on January 9th, 1975. And the first of 45 tornadoes spun up. The 2-day outbreak killed 12 people and injured 377. That's pretty bad right there. In the Midwest, the front mixed with Arctic air from the north and warm Gulf of Mexico moisture. The classic ingredients for a winter blizzard right there. Heavy snows and winds killed 58 people. This occurred in 1975. So, and this is a picture of the tornado damage that occurred. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting to take a look at. Next one we're going to talk about is the Armistice Day Blizzard. It's called this because, coincidentally enough, it occurred on Veterans Day of 1940. An exploding bomb, which, for those of you who are not aware, a bomb cyclone is basically when a low-pressure system drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. And in hurricane season, if a hurricane does that, that's considered rapid intensification right there. Hurricane Sam, I believe, dropped like 40-plus millibars in 24 hours, so that is quite a drop right there. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get back into this. It went off over the Midwest on November 11th, 1940, which that is early for a blizzard right there. And there's an even earlier blizzard on this list, so let's go ahead and get into this. As cold northern air collided with the warm Gulf of Mexico moisture, the raging blizzard quickly chilled the air, and fierce winds built 20-foot snowdrifts. 20-foot snowdrifts. Yeah, that's probably not enjoyable. You probably can't even get out of your house at that point. If you're a one-story, you can't get out of your house at that point. So, yeah. A total of 145 deaths were linked to the storm, including about 25 duck hunters who were not prepared for the cold weather. Forecasters had not predicted the severity of the coming storm. Just understand that 1940 in 1940 they did not have nearly the kind of equipment we do today. So just keep that in mind going forward. And like today, we have YouTube where I'm making this video talking about blizzards and everything, talking about extreme weather. We didn't have that in 1940. We didn't really use radars for weather until the 1950s. So just wanted to keep that in mind for you. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on. The Knickerbocker Storm. The blizzard gained notoriety for its heavy, wet snows, which collapsed the roof of one of the most popular venues in Washington, D.C. The storm took its name because of the cave-in of the Knickerbocker Theater, which killed 98 people and injured 133. That's awful right there. As much as 3 feet of snow fell in Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania during the blizzard, which hit January 27th and January 28th in 1922. 3 feet of wet snow? That is very crazy. Like, normally 3 feet of snow, it's usually kind of dry and everything like that. You can't make snowballs, but 3 feet of wet snow, that is quite a lot. That's quite a lot of precipitation right there. 3 feet of snow that you can make snowballs out of and everything. Snowmen. That's honestly every child's dream. But in this case, it was a tragedy. So, yeah, I find that pretty crazy right there. Next one we're going to talk about, I know a little bit more about, is the Great Appalachian Storm. A winter storm marked by its heavy rains and winter winds and blizzard conditions. It's formed over North Carolina before looping around Ohio, devastating much of the southeast along the way. The November 24th, 1950 storm is responsible for 353 deaths, and it became a case study for tracking and predicting winter weather. Now, this storm started in North Carolina, wrapped up around in Ohio. The reason it caused so many deaths, like in North Carolina, in the Appalachians, in Virginia and North Carolina, there was literally raining and pouring down and everything like that, causing so much flooding, and that's what caused the majority of the deaths right there. Interestingly enough, the Ohio-Michigan college football game actually occurred during the blizzard that happened, and I'm not entirely sure who won. I know someone won by 3 points or something. I'm not entirely sure. Please leave it in the comments down below if you know who won that during that game and everything, because yeah, I'd like to know about it, because I forgot who it was, but yeah, I just know how much they won by. Now, this one is pretty tragic right here. This is the Children's Blizzard, which occurred in 1888. The Children's Blizzard earned its tragic topic because of its timing. On January 12, 1888, temperatures dropped from a relatively balmy few degrees above freezing to a wind chill of minus 40 degrees in the Dakota Territory and Nebraska. Now, minus 40 degrees wind chill, that is from, like, say, 37 degrees Fahrenheit a few hours earlier. That is a huge drop right there. That is a huge drop in temperature. That is a huge drop in the wind chill, like at minus 40. Like, most people, they'll get frostbite after 30 minutes of being exposed in this. So, let's continue in this. Because of the warm day, thousands were caught unprepared for the cold weather, including school children sent home by their teachers during the storm. The death toll was 235 people. I just want to make this point that I understand that they did not even come close to the kind of equipment that we have today and everything, but you never send people home during a blizzard. You never go out during a blizzard. You need to stay warm, stay inside, stay in shelter and everything, because during a blizzard, and I talked about the criteria of this in another video. A blizzard is literally 35-mile-per-hour winds, and you can't see a quarter mile ahead of you. Hell, you probably in these storms can't see 200 feet in front of you. So yeah, to any of you listening, never send your kids home during a blizzard. This is why, right here. Especially in minus 40-degree wind chill. Never do that. If a blizzard is coming, have them go home before it hits. And thankfully, we're doing this nowadays and everything. Like schools, they usually, if there's a huge storm coming during the school day, they'll either close, or if it's coming in the afternoon, they'll have the schools come out. They'll let the schools out early and everything. So that's the beauty of it right there. But with that being said, let's go ahead and continue. The white hurricane. This tower for the storm actually confuses me a little bit, and I'll explain why. Now, a blizzard with hurricane force winds. This was a devastating storm. It is the deadliest natural disaster to hit the Great Lakes region. More than 250 people died when the winter whopper, called the November Gale, struck the Great Lakes on November 7th, 1913. The waves of the lakes reached 35 feet high, and the storm's sustained wind speed reached 60 miles per hour for more than a day and a half. So, I really know nothing about this storm, so I'm about to move on, but yeah, look at this right here. A 504-foot boat upside down in the southern end of Lake Huron during the blizzard. So that's pretty powerful. That was some powerful winds and powerful waves too. Now we're moving into the worst 3 blizzards to ever hit the United States right here, and there is some argument on which one of them is the worst, and I'll give my 2 cents and add my opinion to it at the end. So this is the first one. You probably recognize it. It's the storm of the century. Can a blizzard be both a blizzard and a cyclone? Absolutely, and it can be very nasty, as it says in the description. But like, for example, the March of 2019 winter storm that hit Colorado, Kansas, and that area, that was literally a blizzard and a cyclone. That was literally a mixture of both. It was like the blizzard was literally a bomb cyclone that bombed out in Colorado and just started wreaking havoc across parts of the state, as well as Kansas and Nebraska, and and South Dakota and the rest of the Upper Plains. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, yes, and it's nasty. The storm of the century wreaked havoc across from Cuba to Canada. There were over 100-mile-per-hour winds with this thing in areas in Florida. And this was the state where Hurricane Andrew hit just a few months earlier. As strong as a hurricane, covering an entire continent, the storm was responsible for 310 deaths, 6.6 billion in damage, and shut down the South for 3 days. Coming a week before the storm, on March 12, 1993, this hit was hard to take. Coming a week before the spring, however, the storm of the century marked the first successful 5-day forecast by the National Weather Service of a storm's severity, and a state of emergency was declared in some regions before snow even started falling. So by the 1990s, they had more sophisticated equipment and everything like that, and they could predict storms a lot better compared to like the 1950s and 60s. So that's a good thing right there. Unfortunately for this next case, they didn't have this kind of equipment, so no one knew this was happening. What I'm talking about is the Great Blizzard of 1899. From Georgia to Maine, a punishing storm shut down the eastern seaboard beginning on February 11th, 1899. The wintry weather brought record low temperatures, some of which still stand today, as well as record snowfall. The snow showers started in Florida and moved north, dropping 20 inches in Washington, D.C. in a single day, and a record 34 inches in New Jersey. Now, what also came with this storm was that a massive cold front that caused a huge drop in temperatures, so low that this blizzard during this blizzard, it was the first and only time in the United States history that all 48 states and territories at the time reported a temperature of below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Every single state in America at the time reported below 0 temperatures. Tallahassee, Florida had a temperature of -2. Just to put that in perspective. But yeah, this was a really bad storm. It caused 3 feet of snow to hit in New York City, 20 inches in D.C. So, yeah, that is quite a lot. Plus the punch with the cold front and everything. So, yeah, now we're moving to our final one, the Great Blizzard of 1888, also known as the Great White Hurricane, because of just how powerful it was and how windy it was and everything. That's why I was confused with the White Hurricane from the other one, because this one is called the Great White Hurricane as well, the Great Blizzard of 1888. More than 400 people in the Northeast died during the Great Blizzard, the worst death toll in U.S. history during a winter storm, on March 11th and March 12th in 1888. Coincidentally, the same exact date the storm of the century hit. This devastating nor'easter dumped 40 to 50 inches of snow in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York. Huge snowdrifts buried houses and trains, and 200 ships sank in the waves whipped by the fierce winds. Yeah, also caused drifts of 10 feet deep in New York City. So, just wanted to point that out right there. So, yeah. And a lot of people, like, they couldn't get out of their houses and everything. And the reason a lot of these people died is because they ran out of wood to burn and everything. They died of hypothermia. So, that was a really bad snowstorm right here. You can see a picture of it right here. It's the statue of George Washington on Wall Street. This was during the Blizzard of 1888. Now, there is some disagreement on which one of these last three is the worst blizzard to hit in the United States. Though some say it's the Great Blizzard of 1888, aka the Great White Hurricane. Some say it was the Great Blizzard of 1899. Others say it was the Storm of the Century. Now, I've did quite a bit of research with these three, and after this, the worst blizzard, in my opinion, to hit the United States was the Great Blizzard of 1899. I have this opinion for a couple of reasons. One, it brought very low temperatures. Like, it brought below 0 temperatures to every single state in the United States at the time. And two, it brought record snowfall to New York City, New Jersey, that area. So that's why I'm making that case right there. That's my opinion. If you agree with it, or if you think it's the other two, please let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And turn on those notifications for more videos like these. And with that being said, have a wonderful day, everybody. Stay safe.